Hello and welcome back to another episode of Kamikaze Overdrive, a game whose development cycle never really ends because I keep adding stuff to it. We added a bunch of new stuff this weekend, so I just wanted to show it off, and as we can see, we got the same old bad guys, except now, pya! Their heads explode. Sort of level 1 of the dismemberment system that I have going on. Eventually, you'll be able to shoot the arms and legs off too, and we'll add some new animations and whatnot, but for now, just having the explosions, having some feedback of when the enemies actually die is pretty satisfying. Speaking of explosions, we also have these nice handy red barrels, and if you can take 5 guesses of what you think they do... Oh, wait, he's in the way. Oh crap, this turned back horribly. Alright, hang on. Now. No, he dodged. Now. Okay, that's what they're supposed to happen. So explosive barrels, they kind of balance the odds in your scale, or in your favor. If you ever get ganged up or swarmed, they're strategically placed around the map, so you have some options. Especially if you just want to really ruin this guy's day. And so the other things that changed with the enemies is they usually like to go in a straight line, so I changed up their speed to be random when they first come into the map, as well as their obstacle avoidance. So instead of going in a straight line, they'll just kind of be haphazard all over the place, act more like a zombie horde, if you will. We also changed up the abilities, so I got rid of the speed boost. Instead, now every time you heal, which is ability number 1 there, so you hit 1, boom, you get some health back, and you get a little speed boost. So now it doesn't matter if you have full health, if you just need a little speed boost, that ability has a bit more versatility to it. So to replace it, what I did is I put in that drone idea from the last episode, and you just pop it off right here, and boom. He has no sound effects yet, but he does the job pretty good. He's also really effective. The tricky thing with him is I had to keep messing with his behavior because he had a hard time doing headshots. So right now he just aims for the center of mass every time, which is fine. He also doesn't really last forever, so you can see in the bottom right there's a little cooldown. I think he gets destroyed after 30 seconds, and then you gotta wait another 30 seconds afterwards before you can pop it again. Which brings me to ability number 3, that supply drop idea. I will just pop it off now, so say, oh no, I ran out of ammo, whatever will I do? Get a nice little jet thing, and this expertly animated box that flies down. That should have killed those guys. Oh well. That should act like an explosive. You should be able to weaponize that. I think later on I want to do it so you can actually pinpoint where you actually want to drop the supply drop instead. It's just going to drop it here every single time. But it works now, so I was pretty happy with how that turned out, even though I still got to fix it up a little bit. Oh, big thing that I did is 1, 2, 3. You have legs now. I didn't actually create this character, or the character model for the legs. I went on the site Mixamo, which has like a little SWAT character. I don't think he's going to make it to the final game. I just wanted to see if I could make this work. But yeah, it's always kind of weird in video games or first-person shooters where you can't see the legs. It's like, makes it really obvious that you're a floating camera in the middle of the world, which is exactly what you are, but at least with the legs you can kind of pretend. The other thing cool thing is the actual shadow. So your arms and your head aren't actually existing in the universe. What you can do actually is I found out you can have objects that cast shadows, or you can set them to not cast shadows, or you can set them to only cast shadows. So the full model is here, but I had to separate the head and the arms, and then set them to shadow only, so that we can still get that same effect. Although now I'm realizing you can't see the rifle in his hand. That's probably something to look into in the future. Also, his hand looks really weird. But yeah, that's just kind of a useless gimmick that I don't think most people will notice, but I'm really proud of, so I needed to tell someone about it. The other reason I'm going to get rid of this character is he's got more polygons on him than this entire level combined. You know, so I noticed the game engine would actually start chugging when I put this guy in, so even though he looks really cool. Changes to the level. I got rid of I turned down the fog a little bit. Now it kind of looks like you're on Mars. I was trying to go for dreamlike quality, but Mars is cool too. So you can see a little bit further in the distance. I want to keep the level dark, but not being able to see what you're doing is kind of annoying, so at least now you can kind of see your weapon, you can see where you are a little bit better. You can admire all the details on these sandbags that I worked really hard on. Not really. I just made one, just copy and pasted them and kind of rotated to make them look a little bit different. Less foggy. Oh, we have stars now. So I use the stars, I use a particle system and just threw it up in the sky, instead of just using like a panoramic screenshot or anything like that, and just you can see stars like fade out and pop in, and I don't know, it looks pretty cool. The real reason I wanted that in though is because it makes more of a difference if I think last time it was just a regular black sky, so you can really see the plane coming across. So at least the stars kind of break it up a bit, make it really clear that it's nighttime. The biggest change I made here, though, is if you go to one side, see if I can actually find it. Instead of just having the bad guy spawn out in the middle of nowhere, I gave him a little underground dungeon to pop out of. So instead of these trenches, you can actually go underground as soon as I can find the entrance. There it is. This was kind of awkward to do. So you can do terrains, and apparently now you can cut holes in the terrain so you can make caves. Although, so in Blender, I just had, well, just a single, what do you call those things? Planes. So a flat little plane that's 4 by 4 meters, and just copied and pasted it everywhere. Made another prefab for the wall, then another one for the ceiling. Oh yeah, I forgot I put the nav mesh down here so they can follow me. When I was developing this, there was no nav mesh down here, so at least I had some safety down here. But, so yeah, it's just like an underground tunnel that takes you from one side of the map to the other, and basically I'm gonna decorate this probably during the week at some point. Just have some, like, evil ritual thing going on here, and having the skeletons pop out of the ground and start marching up towards you. And maybe build this out a bit more so there's more guns and things to find down here. But, to prevent people from just kind of camping out here and just shooting them as soon as they spawn out of the ground, there's no ammo down here, so you have to keep coming back up to the surface, and if you want to resupply. But you can still bust out your drone buddy. And I showed this off earlier, but I'll just mention it, or put some attention to it. I put in the knife. It's a very weak attack. The collision detection is not the greatest. Ooh, there's some stutter right there. But yeah, there's another character in the future I'm going to make who's more melee focused, so I figured I better get the system in place now. Basically, it's just a box collider that cuts through the enemy, and if something enters into that box, it does damage to it, so... Yay, I win! That just spawns up every time you kill all the enemies in the map, so it's just going to reset back to the beginning again. So those are all the major changes I made. Thanks for watching.